Our next panel will feature 4 speakers: Orhun Mert Şimşek, Korhan Cabalar, Uzeyir and Ali Özcan Kılıç. Their moderator will be Başak Zerman. Please welcome them to the stage.
So welcome everyone, and thank you for joining us today for a discussion on the topic of profitably scaling hyper and hybrid casual apps. Our panelists are here to share their knowledge and expertise in this topic. We have a lot of ground to cover today, so we will make sure that we leave 5 minutes in the end of the panel for your questions. And it's my great pleasure to introduce my panelists. Shall we start getting to know you a bit?
Thank you, Başak. This is Uzeyir Başar. I am leading our UA and monetization team at Unico Studio. And we develop a brain puzzle game, hybrid casual game and casual games. And glad to join you today here and sharing my perspectives.
Hello, everyone. My name is Mert. I am one of the co-founders of Apps. And now I'm responsible for marketing and monetization operations. Like same as Uzeyir's, like we are working on hyper casual, hybrid casual, and puzzle casual genre. Thanks for inviting me.
Hello everyone, this is Korhan Cabalar. I have been working as a head of growth in Ruby Games. It's been almost 2.5 years. Ruby Games has been developing hyper casual games and hybrid casual games. Recently, I think like in 2021, we are acquired by Rovio. We have a couple casual projects as well. Thank you so much.
Hello everybody, this is Ali Kılıç from AppLovin. I work as a senior analyst for business development. At AppLovin, we provide a set of solutions for our publishers and customers' growth. I've been working in the industry for around 5 years, and excited to be a part of this panel with a great set of speakers.
Thank you very much. So I would like to start with the very beginning, which is the test phase. So maybe, Korhan, you can answer this question. How many different test rounds does a game have to go through, and what are the North Star metrics?
Actually, the questions depends on the game and revenue type that you have in the game. Basically, like you basically have an idea and get the content. With this content, you basically create the creatives, and then you test it on the Facebook or TikTok. You try this game, like on the Facebook, and then you get the CPI values, CTR values, and conversion values. And then around that stage also you are able to calculate your day zero LTV. Also in terms of product side, like also you are able to have a look for day one retention and day zero playtime. In terms of test phasing, like you need to have enough content to have a look for the day one retention. If you have enough content for day 3, day 7, you can also check this out, and then according to that, you can decide if this game will be profitable in the future or not. So you just keep trying, keep creating content and keep testing until you make sure that it's going to be profitable.
Yeah. I would also like to talk a bit about the growth phase and choosing the right audiences and campaign models. Maybe, Mert, you can reply this question. From test to growth, how do you determine your marketing mix for initial launch, and what type of campaigns perform best for you?
For the initial phase, for scaling up, actually, like I guess most of you already know that you need to start with like social networks like Facebook, TikTok, or Snapchat, because they can bring cheap users at first stage. But after that, when you try to scale up, when you are ready to like focus on the ROAS perspective, then some other campaign types are appearing, like ROAS optimized campaigns or app event campaigns, things like that. So for our experience, we always start with install campaigns, then we are changing them to like ROAS campaigns or more value optimized campaigns. And I can say that like we always work with like all possible networks to start with, and yeah, like from time to time, like when time passes, you will see some networks are shining, some other them like not shining. Then you can like decide your mix.
It's like an A/B testing, right? You test and learn.
You always test your network's distribution.
Yeah. Given the tests are traditionally conducted in the US, we usually test in the US, how do you determine a geomix for the initial launch? Who would like to?
Yeah, maybe I can answer. Yeah, definitely US is the primary market for almost all developers. We are looking at the US metrics with reasonable amount of budget, with small budgets, but these budgets should be sufficient for a learning, for a good learning, healthy learning. But at the same time, depending on the game type, we are also looking for like the metrics in cheaper markets like Philippines, in India, Indonesia sometimes. And then if US is too expensive, we are also looking for like the UK, Canada, Australia, other tier one markets to make sure that, okay, yeah, this was a seasonal effect. It was the US was too expensive, and looking for the UK and Canada and other countries as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if everything goes well, we are localizing our game and opening up to all like available geos in the world.
When it comes to creative tips, when you want to decide on the best performing creatives, how do you do the creative ideation process, and which creative types of creatives do you run, and which ones make up the majority of your creative task?
Yeah, I can answer here as well, but I also want to circle back to our previous question a little bit about the network mix. I think the short answer is you have to have a healthy mix of networks. So this comes from two specific reasons. One is to achieve maximum scale for your app, and then the second thing is to reduce the dependency on a singular network. I think that's the key. That's the key in profitably scaling a game. And what I want to add over there is like all networks have their own technologies and their own campaign models, which you can benefit from based on the audience that you want to target. From our network side, from AppLovin side, for hyper casual and hybrid casual titles, we have a specific set of campaign types that you can benefit from. Mainly, these are optimized towards advertising ROAS, a total ROAS, which is a combination of advertising revenue and in-app purchase revenue, and then event-optimized campaigns that you can leverage to increase the retention within your games and then unlock specific users that stay in the game and engage for a longer period of time. So that's one thing that I wanted to add from a network mix point of view. And in terms of the creative ideation process, I think our other panelists here, because they're more in the oven of the things, let's say, like the first initial creative testing phases, they're more well-versed than I am, I would say. But what we see in the hyper-casual side of things is because the gameplay is rather simpler, like catchy videos paired with interactive end cards works really well. And then when we transition more towards hybrid casual titles, because the gameplay can have more meta ingredients, it can have a longer learning process for the users. So having multi-interaction playables, I think, that show a little bit about the gameplay is valuable in terms of increasing your conversion rates in this genre. So I think maybe some of you would like to add or comment more on this topic.
Maybe I can add what Ali said in terms of creative testing and creative tips. And first of all, you all know it's very difficult to find a winning creative, really difficult. And you should never stop trying. For instance, for brain test, what we do, it has over 400 levels. We tried almost every level for videos. And Ali said video plus an interactive end card works very well for like hyper casual games. And we discovered that playables work very well as well for the hybrid casual games. Now we are in the process of testing every level for almost every level for playables. And I can say that you can trust your instincts. You should trust your instincts. At the same time, do not trust your instincts when you are testing a creative. Like, do not make assumptions. We do have a like in-house marketing creative team. Sometimes you should try their versions. You should also try your versions. And when I say that, okay, this is a perfect creative, perfect video, this should work, or this is a perfect playable, it doesn't work. And then regarding that, you should try it in another network as well. Like not just one social network. You should go try in 2 social networks. Not just one SDK network, not just on like Unity. You should try on AppLovin as well, because sometimes one creative works in one network, but it doesn't work on another network. So it's a very like a painful process. And when you find a winning creative with high click-through rates, high install rates, then yeah, you should be very happy. And if you can find more than one creatives, you should keep extra creatives for like future use. Yeah, that's the process in our studio. That's how we do it, and probably most of our colleagues do it.
Also, I want to add some little thing. Maybe some of you know our like most played game is Fashion Battle, and last year I made a calculation about how many different video creatives have we tried for finding the best creative. It's over 2,000. So and we are respectively a small team. So I can imagine even like more like companies with more people are even trying like lots more than, and it's really a hard thing to find, as you mentioned, a good creative, and it takes time.
And while we are talking about the creatives, do you have a sweet spot for creative maturation? Like, how often do you add new creatives to the campaign?
Maybe I can add. I mean, this is a really important question. For instance, like at the initial stage, you basically come up with 4 to 5 creatives. So when you do the scale with them, the common mistake is that, you know, like within 1 week, basically studios changing these creatives. I think which is not true, because it has a loss of potential and it's your winning creative. So my recommendation, do not change this creative straight away. Instead of doing that, you know, like you can keep this video and add different playables and end cards to the video and so on. So also main goal for that, you know, like to beat the winning creative. So you need to do lots of A/B testing on Facebook by just getting this data, analyzing, you know, like after you make sure that, you know, it's gonna beat the winning creative, you can add these creatives to the networks. But generally, what we experience every 2 weeks, 3 weeks, you can add these creatives. Even it's not a winning creative, you need to foster these networks to also avoid the creative fatigue. Yeah, this is the approach that we follow. And also support this idea, this structure with the A/B testing, so it will be logical to keep this, maintaining this sustainable growth with the new creators.
I would like to add something here as well, at least from AppLovin's perspective. We have a great technology embedded into our algorithm that automatically A/B tests creatives when you add them. So for us, yeah, a creative can mature, but as Korhan said, you can always change the end card or change certain aspects of the video and then put that into the creative mix again, which will allow you to test and see if you can find the winner. So this technology allows ease of testing within the platform at least, and then it allows all the creatives that you add to get a specific amount of impressions so that you can make sure that you get, let's say, you give an equal chance to every creative and then see what works best for you. But as he said, testing is the key here.
Yeah, and also I want to add that, like, when you do the A/B testing in other platforms, let's say that you have a winning creative. When you add this, it doesn't work. Sometimes it's not a winning creative. It's not a proven data behind this creative. But when you add this creative to the SDK network, straight away it's becoming winning creative. So, you need to do lots of experiments. You need to try with the creatives and so on. It's like continuous process that you need to follow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And maybe we can also talk about how do we measure the performance of the campaigns, especially in the post-IDFA world. And maybe I can, someone from Adjust can talk here. So actually one of the most common strategies for conversion value management is gives revenue-based value to each conversion value. With Adjust, we provide Conversion Hub, which allows you to pick smart setup or advanced setup. Smart setup for everyday marketer, but if you are really tech savvy, you can also use advanced setup to give revenue-based information to each conversion value. I would like to also get to know about your approach in that sense. Maybe we can mention.
Maybe I
briefly,
can.
yeah.
That's a hard question.
That's a great question because it's really hard. It's hard, many studios struggling with that, and it is expected. But at the end of the day, in the post-IDFA world, you need to know your game very well. You need to basically what users doing, what kind of flow they follow in the games, and what is the revenue sources. If it's advertising revenue, in-app purchase revenue, if it's blended. According to that, you basically need to come up with a conversion modeling. Mm-hmm. But what I see from the studios that are successful studios, they basically put this structure and run the campaigns. After they get off the results, they evaluate the results. If it's not working well, in some cases it is expected, so you need to adjust this conversion modeling until you get a successful results. It's always experiment. It is expected that you're gonna lose money, but once you figure out that how it's working, I think it's working very well. And you can, for instance, if your game is based on solely advertising revenue, you can utilize 44 buckets, but sometimes you can do with the events, with the revenue blended conversion modeling as well. So it depends, and you need to keep experimenting about it until you get really successful results, I guess.
Yeah, it's like the same with the creatives. You just need to test and learn,
Definitely.
and then put your strategy there.
Yeah.
And before finishing, I would also like to talk about what are your predictions for 2023? Something new is expecting us, or what do you think?
I can go ahead here. So I think from a high level industry view and from a lot of talks that I had today with a lot of publishers and advertisers and game companies, what I see is that there is a significant shift from hyper casual towards hybrid casual genres, or even more casual mid-core genres. I expect this trend to continue in 2023. I think it started already during the second half of 2022. I had a lot of conversations already about this. And I believe there will be a lot of new exciting innovations within the industry, while publishers are trying to try new things. Because when you look at, for example, hyper casual, your game production cycles are much faster, and you create a lot of prototypes and then you ship them. Whereas in hybrid casual genre or more casual genres, you tend to produce for a lot longer time and you learn a lot throughout that process. And as AppLovin, we will keep focusing during this transition period, we will keep focusing on what maximizes and benefits our customers' growth. And as always, we're excited to be part of it.
Yeah, for me, everybody says that hyper casual is gonna die, but I would avoid this kind of such a dramatic statement. Basically the industry just adjusts itself. around these days, like it's hard to find a low CPI. So that means that you're gonna find loss of average CPI. So you need to kind of cover and adjust the situation financially by just focusing on the retention. Therefore, like in the 2022, everybody was saying like retention is the new king. Yes, that's true. It's gonna keep continuing this statement in the 2023 as well. Yeah, like with the recession, I understand that, like many publishers try to keep the money and focus on profit rather than revenue. That is expected. And, like many studios try to focus on the retention to cover the average CPI at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we can say hyper casual will evolve, not die, because like a couple of weeks ago, I also texted something very dramatic on LinkedIn that hyper casual gaming is gonna die and stuff. But yeah, it's evolving, let's say.
Yeah, that's right.
This is also an opportunity actually because we are also shifting from hyper casual to hybrid casual, but that means there will be less competition in hyper casual genre.
Yeah.
But also I agree with other panelists as well. Like hyper casual will change. Actually, it changed. So there still will be hyper casual, but a little bit different.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with my colleagues and especially Korhan. But I think that the hyper casual is not going to die, but users expect more, like from every app, because the technological capabilities are increasing. And if I'm going to play a hyper casual game, I am looking for a better quality hyper casual game. If I am going to play a match 3 game, I am looking for a better game in terms of content, in terms of user experience. I think it's true for the ads as well, ads experience. Like, yeah, I would like to, if I'm going to watch an ad, it should be a quality app. I should be able to close it. It should be
it shouldn't be annoying that much.
Yeah,
it shouldn't interrupt your experience.
It shouldn't be annoying. I think both the hyper-casual studios and other studios are kind of adjusting to this, the new reality. Both the networks as well, like the ad review tools, ad quality tools are getting more attention. So I believe 2023 is going to be better than 2021, but we all have to adjust to these new trends, dynamics, and new shifts in the market.
Yeah. Yeah, so we can summarize like this: everything actually evolving to the user experience side. We don't need to share IDFA anymore. The advertisements will be improved. I think all in all, the user quality, user experience quality will be improved, we can say. And I would like to ask if you have any questions. Maybe you have questions that you would like to answer in Turkish, in English. That doesn't matter. No questions? No questions. Okay, then thank you very much for joining us. If you have any questions still, we will be outside.